From the opinion of a fighter who's faced them both, to a prediction from one of the fighters themselves, these are pros predicting Aljamain Sterling versus Henry Cejudo at UFC 288. If there's anyone who knows what it takes to beat Sterling and Cejudo, who will face off against one another for the World Bantamweight Championship on Saturday, May 6th in New Jersey, it's Marlon Moraes. A former UFC Bantamweight Championship contender, Marlon currently fights in the Professional Fighters League and faced both Sterling and Cejudo during his time in UFC, viciously knocking out Sterling in 2017 and losing to Cejudo in a battle for the Bantamweight title in 2019. While speaking to MMAnews.com, Marlon, who recently lost to Brendan Loughnane in a PFL featherweight division bout, praised both Sterling and Cejudo, but sees one of them as having a clear advantage, saying, "Man, that's an intriguing matchup. They're both tough guys. Two legends in my opinion. I think Sterling doesn't get the credit he deserves. In my opinion, he's one of the best pound-for-pound fighters now. He's not the best striker, but he finds a way to beat strikers. He finds a way with his length to keep guys away with the kicks. I just see a tough challenge for Henry. Sterling's a big guy, tall. His wrestling is just as good as Henry. His grappling is better than Henry. Striking-wise, I don't think Cejudo's going to be able to go in Sterling's range. If he does, I believe they might get to a grappling exchange, and I just think Sterling is a better fighter and is gonna win." One current UFC fighter with a similar assessment to Marlon's is Corey Sandhagen, who also competes in the Bantamweight division. In a video posted to the Middle Easy YouTube channel, Corey, who will be looking to fight the winner of the Sterling-Cejudo matchup somewhere down the road in 2023, noted that Sterling's size gives him a significant advantage over Cejudo, saying, "I think because Sterling is so much bigger, or is going to be so much bigger than Cejudo, I think that Sterling will likely take it. I think the wrestling is going to cancel each other out. I think it's going to be a kickboxing fight more or less. Sterling will definitely try to take his back, but I don't really see Cejudo giving his back to him. Then I think that it's just going to be a kickboxing fight where Sterling's going to be a lot bigger and a lot funkier. That's going to be hard for Cejudo to deal with, and Cejudo's going to be a lot smaller than Sterling too, which I think will matter." While both Marlon and Corey are predicting a win for Sterling, other fighters are predicting that Cejudo will be victorious. Before the fight was even officially announced, MMA reporter James Lynch asked a diverse range of male and female fighters who they liked in a Sterling-Cejudo matchup. UFC lightweight and featherweight fighter Alexander Hernandez picked Triple C, though he admitted that it's a tough fight to predict, saying, "We just don't know where Cejudo's at, so it's tough. Prime Cejudo, I would say Cejudo. And I even want to say Cejudo now, but that's going to be tough. But it, I'll throw it to Cejudo." UFC bantamweight fighter Damon Blackshear's also picking Cejudo, telling Lynch that he thinks it'll be a stand-up fight, saying, "I think Henry Cejudo might edge out a decision in that fight. I think he can stop his grappling exchanges and on the feet. I might have to give it to Henry Cejudo. I think he's just a little sharper. Aljamain's a little bit more unorthodox. He might be able to get off a little bit, but I think it's going to be a stand-up fight. And I'll give it to Henry Cejudo edging out a decision." While Hernandez and Blackshear may be picking Cejudo, he was not picked by the majority of the fighters who Lynch interviewed. Out of a total of 14 fighters interviewed by Lynch, 9 picked Sterling while 5 went with Cejudo. UFC women's flyweight Erin Blanchfield said, "I'm going with Aljamain. Definitely a bit of a bias, but even from an objective standpoint, I think he's a bigger guy. I think he's better scrambling on the ground. I think he can finish Cejudo." UFC middleweight Julian Marquez was extremely confident in his prediction, saying, "Oh, Aljamain all day. I think Cejudo's great at grappling and great at this, that, and the other, but you've had a lot of time off, and I think the game is evolving. And I think not too much time to get into a fight with somebody who has been consistently fighting as much as him, as Aljamain. I'm going to have to go with that." While Marquez thinks Cejudo may be rusty, he does see the duo producing an entertaining fight, saying, "Ring rust is a real thing, especially at the championship level. There's a reason why he's Sterling at the championship, and a reason why he's still a champ. I think we're going to see a different side of Aljamain, but I can see it being a very entertaining fight." While Bellator bantamweight fighter Juan Archuleta is another pro fighter picking Sterling. He also sees a scenario where Cejudo could stay in the fight, saying, "I think Aljamain Sterling's on fire right now. When he fights someone with confidence, the way they've been winning, it's very hard to beat that. If you're looking to finish right away, it's not going to happen. If you take your time, kind of like ride the wave, if Cejudo rides that wave, lets him shoot everything out in the first 2 to 3 rounds, I think it might end up like the Petr Yan situation in the first fight. But it'll be a finish instead of a nut shot. I think Aljamain takes it though. With so many fighters picking Sterling, Cejudo should have plenty of motivation as he prepares for the bout. While he hasn't fought since defeating Dominic Cruz in UFC 249 in 2020, Cejudo has the respect of many fighters and pundits in the industry, including Joe Rogan, who recently called Cejudo a genius who knows how to win.
Olympic gold medalist and 2 division world champion. He can do whatever the he wants.
I could do
You
without
let
it.
him wear that shirt. You let him go crazy. You let him do whatever he wants. That's Henry Cejudo. He does whatever he wants.
Having won an Olympic gold medal, Henry's background in wrestling gives him an edge in grappling, and he's defended 93% of takedown attempts. Very impressive. Although Sterling also has strong wrestling abilities, he may struggle to keep up with Henry's takedown game, which could result in Sterling fighting off his back. Cejudo will likely look to keep the fight in close proximity by clinching, using knees and trips, and focusing on short, explosive energy to strike at Sterling's chin. With a 7-inch reach disadvantage, Cejudo needs to be strategic with his strikes and create opportunities for follow-up action. For his part, Sterling seems confident that he can defeat Triple C. In an interview with Andrew Cappuccetti of Inside Fighting, he said, "I think I can stop him in the second round. That's the plan right now with the way I'm training. I think he's going to be tough to get out of there in the first round. I think it'll be a feeling out process, maybe trying to gas pedal him a little bit and get him on the back foot. If I can get him down, that'll be ideal. Once I get the takedown secured, I just pound him, and either he gives up his neck for the submission or I pound him out."
I think I have a pretty good. I think I can give a lot of guys a run for their money in the strength department, and especially when it comes to certain things, when it comes to leverage, utilizing their wiry strength. I think I have some good things that are better for me than a lot of other guys.
Sterling Cejudo will be the main event for UFC 288, which features a 13-bout fight card, which, as I said, takes place on Saturday, May 6th at the Prudential Center in New Jersey. So mark your calendars, guys, and let us know in the comments if you're picking Sterling or Cejudo to win this fight. I've got to say, it's a tough call, and right now, I'm sitting on the fence. There's no denying the fact that Sterling's size could be problematic for Cejudo, especially if we're talking about a stand-up and bang kind of fight. But at the same time, I don't think Sterling's size will count for much if Cejudo has him tied up like a pretzel on the canvas. Such a tough call. All I know is it's going to be epic. So there you have it, fight fans. From a prediction from one of the fighters themselves to the opinion of a fighter who's faced them both. Those were pros predicting Aljamain Sterling versus Henry Cejudo at UFC 288.